I became insane with long intervals of horrible sanity. Beauty of whatever kind in its supreme development invariably excites the sensitive soul to tears. All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. Those who dream by day are cognizant of many things which escape those who dream only by night. I would define in brief the poetry of words as the rhythmical creation of beauty. The true genius shudders at incompleteness, imperfection, and usually prefers silence to saying the something which is not everything that should be said. I have great faith in fools. Self-confidence, my friends will call it. I was never really insane, except upon occasions when my heart was touched. It is a happiness to wonder. It is a happiness to dream. The 99 are with dreams, content but the hope of the world made new is the 100th man who is grimly bent on making those dreams come true. There is no exquisite beauty without some strangeness in proportion. It is by no means an irrational fancy that, in a future existence, we shall look upon what we think our present existence as a dream. Literature is the most noble of professions. In fact, it is about the only one fit for a man. For my own part, there is no seducing me from the path. With me, poetry has not been a purpose, but a passion. I am actuated by an ambition which I believe to be an honorable one, the ambition of serving the great cause of truth while endeavoring to forward the literature of my country. I felt that I breathed an atmosphere of sorrow. A poem deserves its title only inasmuch as it excites by elevating the soul. The best things in life make you sweaty. From childhood's hour, I have not been. As others were, I have not seen. As others saw, I could not awaken my heart to joy at the same tone. In all I loved alone. All religion, my friend, is simply evolved out of fraud, fear, greed, imagination, and poetry. Man's real life is happy, chiefly because he is ever expecting that it will be so. That man is not truly brave who is afraid either to see or to be, when it suits him, a coward. Sleep, those little slices of death, how I loathe them. To die laughing must be the most glorious of all glorious deaths. The death of a beautiful woman is unquestionably the most poetical topic in the world. The boundaries which divide life from death are at best shadowy and vague. Who shall say where the one ends and where the other begins? In reading some books, we occupy ourselves chiefly with the thoughts of the author. In perusing others, exclusively with our own. How many good books suffer neglect through the inefficiency of their beginnings? Years of love have been forgot in the hatred of a minute. Deep in earth my love is lying, and I must weep alone. We loved with a love that was more than love, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. Believe nothing you hear, and only one half that you see. Never to suffer would never to have been blessed. Words have no power to impress the mind without the exquisite horror of their reality. To vilify a great man is the readiest way in which a little man can himself attain greatness. I have, indeed, no abhorrence of danger, except in its absolute effect and terror. But it is the trait and perversity of human nature to reject the obvious and the ready for the far distant and equivocal. Music, when combined with a pleasurable idea, is poetry. Music without the idea is simply music. I wish I could write as mysterious as a cat. I remained too much inside my head and ended up losing my mind. The scariest monsters are the ones that lurk within our souls. Never to exist at all is better than to exist wrongly. To elevate the soul, poetry is necessary. I have no faith in human perfectibility. I think that human exertion will have no appreciable effect upon humanity. I hate not that my earthly lot hath little of earth in it, that years of love have been forgot in the hatred of a minute. I mourn not that the desolate are happier, sweet than I, but that you sorrow for my fate, who am a passerby. Science has not yet taught us whether madness is or is not the sublimity of the intelligence. I felt that I breathed an atmosphere of sorrow. That which you mistake for madness is but an over-acuteness of the senses. Now, this is the point. You fancy me a mad. Madmen know nothing. But you should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded. Even with the utterly lost, to whom life and death are equally jest, there are matters of which no jest can be made. A man's grammar, like Caesar's wife, should not only be pure, but above suspicion of impurity. That fitful strain of melancholy which will ever be found inseparable from the perfection of the beautiful. The idea of God, infinity, or spirit stands for the possible attempt at an impossible conception. Marking a book is literally an experience of your differences or agreements with the author. It is the highest respect you can pay him. His heart is a suspended lute. As soon as you touch it, it resonates. Even in the grave, all is not lost. I continued, as was my wont, to smile in his face, and he did not perceive that my smile now was at the thought of his immolation. Mysteries force a man to think, and so injure his health. There are some secrets which do not permit themselves to be told. Where the good and the bad and the worst and the best have gone to their eternal rest. Because it was my crime to have no one on earth who cared for me or loved me.